Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here with us. What if the most powerful moment on global stage wasn't when the music reached its peak, but when it slowed down just enough for you to notice deeper? What if freedom in a performance wasn't about anything and you want, but about choosing exactly why matter and letting everything else falls away. Today we are stepping into one of the most quietly talked about moments from Coachella 2026 where Fuji Kaze revealed a version of freedom that did not shout but stayed with people long after the stage went dark. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual. A piano placed on stage, a performer stitched calmly, a crowd waiting as they always do for something to begin. But what unfolded in those moments wasn't just another performance segment, it was a shift in energy, a quiet redefinition of what it means to be present in front of thousands of people. Let's start with that image. A global stage known for spectacle reduced to a single instrument. That choice alone tells you something in an environment where artists often compete for attention through scale and intensity. Choosing simplicity is not a limitation, it's a statement. When Fujikaze sat at the piano, he wasn't reducing the performance, he was refining it. Now here's the where thing began to change. At the first ones filled the space, the crowd didn't erupt. They leaned it, and that reaction mattered because it showed that attention wasn't being forced, it was being invited. This is the first layer of freedom. Freedom from expectation. He did not try to match the noise around him. He did not adjust himself to fit the environment. Instead, he allowed the environment to adjust to him, and in doing so, he created something rare, a moment where thousands of people shared the same quiet focus. And but the story does not stop at the piano, because what happened when next where everything deepens. After holding the stillness, after letting the moment settle fully, he stood up slowly, no rush, no dramatic shift, and then he began to move. He stepped away from the piano, and that step changed the meaning of everything that came before it. Think about it. The piano requires structure, a place, a defined position where the music exists. Sitting it at an anchor, the performance it creates stability, but stepping away from it introduced movement, uncertainty, possibility. This is the second layer of freedom, freedom from position. He was no longer confined to a single point. The performance expanded not through volume or speed, but through space. As he moved, the audience followed not physically but emotionally. Then came the staircase, the simple element easy to overlook, but in that moment becomes something more. He began to descend, not dramatically, not as a grand gesture, just a steady, deliberate movement downward, and yet that action carried a quiet weight that many people felt, even if they could not immediately explain it, because in most performance movement upward is associated with climax, evaluation, power, but here the direction was revealed. This is the third layer of freedom. Freedom from conventional meaning. Descending did not reduce the performance, it grounded it, brought the moment closer to something human, something accessible. It removed ulcers instead of creating it. And this is where the emotional shift happens. The audience is no longer watching a performance on a stage, they are witnessing a presence moving through space with intention. Every step feels connected to the music, even in silence. Now let's pause for a second and look for what's really happening here. At the piano, he created focus by stepping away. He created movement by descending. He created connection. These simple actions, but together they form a complete expression of something much deeper: freedom. Not the loud, exclusive kind, but the quiet, international kind. And here's why this matters. In a world where freedom is often misunderstood as doing more, being louder, or breaking every rule, this performance showed something different. Freedom can also mean choosing less, showing down, letting movement exist without forcing them forward. As the performance continued, the feeling stayed. There was no need to constantly escalate, no pressure to deliver bigger and bigger moment. Instead, everything followed naturally. Each part connect to the next, not through intensity but through clarity. And the audience responds not in with constant noise, but with presence, with attention, with the kind of sheer stillness that is incredibly rare in a festival setting. By the time The performance reached its end. Something had shifted not just on stage but within the crowd. People were not just entertained, they were moved in a quieter way, and a way that does not fade as quickly, because what they experienced wasn't just music, it was meaning, and that meaning comes from the choice that were made. The decision to simplify, to move, to descend to truth, that those small actions could carry something larger. So when we ask what kind of freedom Fujikaze showed at Coachella 2026, the answer is not found in a single moment. It's found in the connection between them. Freedom from expectation at the piano, freedom from position when stepping away, freedom from convention when descending the stairs, and together those choices created something that did not need to be explained to be understood. You could feel it, and that's why it stayed there. That's why people are still talking about it, because it wasn't just seen, it was a experience. If you felt something from this breakdown and want more deep insight like this, make sure you subscribe for more updates and stay connected with us. Thank you for watching the video. For getting more updates, press the bell icon, hit the subscribe button.